and a warm welcome again to the Sappi Blue Couch series. That's where we have a chance to talk about all the most important developments in the world of Sappi, as well as the latest trends in the papers industry. Well, today our topic is great finishing versus solid sustainability. Can we find a balance? In particular, we want to take a look at metallic effects in packaging solutions and whether printing technology can in fact offer us a more sustainable method to get these metallic effects compared to the traditional methods. To unpack this and all sorts of other questions related to packaging, I'm very pleased to welcome our two experts today, starting with Christof Sontheimer. He is the Global Head of Business Development for Eckart. And now Eckart is the leading international manufacturer of metallic and pearlescent pigments that are used in many different industries. Welcome to you, Christof.
Hello.
And we also have Lars Scheidweiler, who is Head of Packaging Solutions at Sappi. And what he does is support brand owners, OEMs, agencies, and finishers with value-added business solutions in the packaging field. So welcome to you, Lars.
Thank you.
So I'd actually just like to begin with kind of a very simple question. Why do we need finishing to begin with?
Well, finishing is just, in simple words, it's a decoration. It's an expression of who you are, what you stand for, your preferences in life, your choices, etc. And we know this, every household has got a certain decoration, certain finishing, etc. Every product has. And these are usually symbols of attributes that convey a certain message. When it comes to metallic finishing, there's something very specific, but I think Chris can talk more about that.
Yeah, I would say metallic finishing, I would say the value aspect for a brand owner or for a consumer. So consumers especially, so they associate the metallic effects with a high value. Yeah, and also I think the shape of metallic objects. If you see metallic objects, the shape reveal on the objects or the metallic effect is better than on the non-metallic effects. Yeah. What our eyes can see. Yeah.
Also, it's it's a pattern, it's a structure, it's something that we learn throughout the evolution of mankind, that metal is directly associated with value, durability, quality, value,
wealth, status,
as
you said, yeah,
etc.
Yeah.
And these messages, they underline and they're used as a silent communicator for brand values of many, many products.
We all know that consumers are, of course, attracted to bling and the shiny elements. But the truth is that many consumers today are also very concerned about sustainability. So I'm curious to hear about the challenges when it comes to sustainability and metallic finishing.
With a print-based technology, we would like to achieve basically the same quality level and the same consistency and the same appeal that other technologies which are foil-based deliver. It is difficult to come to the same gloss level, to be fair, but when we compare, for instance, with foil lamination as a decoration, you automatically, by using that technology, create a compound. And that compound would then be absolutely less sustainable because it's very, very difficult, if not impossible, to recycle. Doing that on a print-based version will make it much, much easier and convenient for consumers. They do have the quality appeal, they do get the shine, they do get the bling, they do get the tactile elements, but equally this then becomes a monomaterial which can go easily to the bin, which can be recovered, recycled, and contribute to the circular economy, and be produced at lower CO2 footprint.
Yes, also a lot of from our metallic products are de-inkable. That means they, how should I say that? They
can be separated.
Separate from the substrate, yeah.
You recover the fibers, they go again, they become or get the chance for a new life, for new packages, etc. And it's not a laminate that can only be burnt. where you only recover the energy. So you start with lower CO2 footprint, you start with a simpler process, potentially even a more cost-efficient one, and you come to close to the same results. The other challenge within that project is that Sappi is, of course, working predominantly as a substrate supplier. So we need to combine the know-how of a designer, of a producer, which we have found in Günther Thomas, who has been great designer for many, many international brands, and who's been also supporting heavily Heidelberg's development of the XT machines which are used in the industry, so he knows that part. Putting together with Eckart's expertise in pigments, and then combining all of these three, and finally creating those beautiful examples.
Now you mentioned this metal ink joint development project. Can you tell us a bit more about this, what the project story was and its goals?
We as Eckart, we produce metallic pigments, or we produce metallic press-ready inks. So my target group on the market are brand owners, designers and printers. So to produce or to create a luxury design or a luxury packaging, you not only need the pigment, the metallic pigment, you need the right print technology, and you need one of the best substrates. So that's why I thought I called Sappi, Lars, and said, could you help me with a luxury substrate? And then we were contacting Günther Thomas, our third partner, which has the right print technology with his Heidelberg hybrid machine. So that was the reason to come together, because we saw only with the metallic ink or the metallic pigment, it's not possible to how should I say, Lars, to convince the brand owner or the end consumer.
After all, it's much more convincing than just throwing a bunch of pigments on the table, or yes, a plain substrate, or showing, this is my print machine and this is our design studio. This is then the condensed version of what metal ink printing can do for decorations with the combined expertise of all these three partners.
I mean, Lars, you see it on exhibitions. We were on different exhibitions. You will get swatch books, you will get samples without any explanation how to produce it. So, and we thought, okay, we need really to train these people and show them the benefits of the metal ink or our partner project. Yeah.
Well, yeah, that was going to be my next question. So this all sounds great, but if I'm the brand owner, how will you persuade me that there are advantages of using these metal inks as opposed to the foil-based finishing processes, that my product will still have that premium look and feel that I always expect from these foil-based finishing processes? How do I choose your ink method as opposed to something that I'm just familiar with and been using for years?
Well, I think, to be fair, none of the three partners could have done this by himself. Neither Günther Thomas, nor Eckart, nor Sappi could have really done that persuasive argument. So what we actually did is we combined the know-how, the knowledge about substrates, about surfaces, about pigments, pigment shapes, inks and pigments, and the converting process with the design process, etc., etc. In the end, and we have these examples, I don't know if you want to show that, what the brand owner wants is a decoration. He chooses metallics to convey that certain message, this value proposition, this durability, this quality, this status, etc. Now the question was how to do it. I think that really doesn't matter so much, but now sustainability kicks in. If we can do it, as opposed to the other traditional methods, without the use of any plastic foil being in the process as a carrier, or as a decoration. And solely through ink, the brand owner gets what he wants. He gets this shiny look. He gets this, the touch, the feel, the reflection, and all that he wants. And in the end, this pack can go directly to the waste bin. You may just
Lars, I would also say, well,
want to show
the
some more.
benefit for the benefit for a brand owner. I think also one of the big benefits is a potential cost saving. I would say we have to say that with our metal ink, we can run this packaging in one print run, for example. Yeah, it depends on the print technology or which pigment quality the customer wants, yeah, instead of other technologies where we have 2 or 3 production processes. So that's also a point of sustainability, yeah.
So if it's more cost effective, more sustainable, why are not all brand owners choosing this process?
Maybe I should kick in. It's not that we are reinventing or that we are completely inventing something new. Metallic inks have always been present on the market. The question we had was how consistent and how premium can it actually get? So if you leave it to the brand owner or to the design agency, he's got the task to say, okay, look, we have this and that brand, maybe for chocolates, cosmetics, food applications, God knows what. And we want to transport a message through metallic decoration. So then the choice is basically at the agency. And they will do what they know. And so far the knowledge was that if you only print it, it doesn't get to that quality level. And that is exactly then where the 3 partners kick in, where we say, why doesn't it do that? Why doesn't it go in the perception of the market to that quality level? The simple answer we have is because they deal with a given substrate. They just order any type of ink with any type of pigment, put it on any type of substrate with existing technology they have at hand. Whereas we say, you have to think before, if you want to have metallic decoration and you want to have it print-based, you've not got to choose the right pigment. You have to have the expertise of Eckart and their pigment knowledge. You have to have the expertise of Sappi about the substrates and the interaction with the surfaces, etc. You have to have the expertise of designing it from the very start, which was done through Günther Thomas and Trendhouse 42, and then combine that to actually raise the bar and raise that quality level. And then to be able to replicate this consistently. Because consistency is also something that is very, very valued by all brands and of course by consumers, but much more.
I would say, Lars, let's start a little bit earlier. Let's start who is the decision maker. So we recognized over the years that the brand owner is the decision maker. The designer is the influencer about new innovations, finishings, ideas. But we also saw that the knowledge of metallic finishing with ink is less on designer side, also on brand owner side. So these 3 partners came together to train people. We train on exhibitions, we train on face-to-face meetings, or on Teams calls. Yeah, I think this is a big step what we have to do to show the people with samples and training how this metal ink project would work.
So you're saying awareness is a huge part of this, education is a huge part of it, and your project is contributing to expanding awareness of this technology and finally showing people what it's capable of if only you understand the right substrates, the right types of ink, and the right combinations.
Right.
So where do you see the future of metallic inks in the packaging industry?
I think it's going to be at least stable, if not growing, because all these value propositions that brands make, there's so many brands launched every year. They need to distinguish themselves. They need to communicate. It's a simple way of saying, hey, we have quality, we have durability, we have value, we have this. So there's no way of doing without metallics, and decoration as such is going to grow. The question is only how. How do we apply it?
I would say in the future it will also is depending on maybe some recycling or sustainable recycling guidelines from the brand owner side. At the moment, when it comes to guidelines, how should a packaging be sustainable? We do not have that at the moment. Maybe time is changing this process also.
And I'm also just curious whether there are new innovations on the horizon when we're talking about the inks or even the substrates. Are there developments moving forward to make things even shinier and even more sustainable?
I think so, absolutely. But I would think, I don't know if there's more developments on the pigment side. The substrates, they will certainly have to provide for more even surfaces and more consistent, call it topographies, etc. And they will probably have to get that in one way or another specified in order to reveal that this one is more suited than the other grade, etc., etc., etc. But I think print technology is going to evolve and develop further. Today we have, well, let's start earlier. With the old decorations, the traditional ones, the hot foiling, the cold transfer, etc., you have a base of, let's say, a handful, maybe 10 converters in each market who do have that technology. The potential converters you can deal with metal ink decoration that have hybrid machines is much, much bigger. So it becomes much, much more accessible. It is much, much faster, speed to market. You have much, much more potential suppliers who can actually help you to do that. In the end, what we see now, the hybrid machines today, they usually use the flexo towers at the end of the machine, whereas if you really want to go into decoration, it is much more preferable to have and build those machines with flexo towers in the front. So there is going to be a change, I guess, and I think it won't be long until that is coming.
It is no showstopper, I would say, if it's on the end of the machine, Lars, but yeah.
You can make it more efficient in one go rather than
absolutely
doing two setups, etc., but still.
And from the pigment side, I would say Eckart is very innovative. So we are dealing with a lot of segments or industries, automotive industry, cosmetic industries.
I think there's one point that you should mention as well. So far, metallic decorations were only used for non-food application.
Of course,
but now you've got something really big coming.
Not now, it's a general process. A lot of our products, especially also for the packaging industry, we call it FPG, non-food. So they are for food packaging.
So they come with low migration, they are compliant with food contact, etc.
Absolutely.
So that there's a whole new market where you see metallic decorations, which are foil-based today in the food market. They don't need to be in future because Eckart has developed something to actually be compliant with food regulations, etc. So even that market can switch to print-based. Yeah. Becomes a bigger field of operation, I think, in future.
So brand owners do not have to sacrifice the bling to be sustainable, or do they?
Not the bling, but maybe, to be honest, there are limitations, I think, to print-based decorations. It doesn't get quite to the level of bling or gloss, which you can get with foil-based hot foiling, to be all honest. And there's also certain things that we cannot do. We cannot do flip-flop effects that you have with plastics, foil. Effects. We cannot do holographic effects, etc. But for, I would say, 75% of the market, that can do.
We have the technology, yeah.
Incredible. So at the end of the day, it's all about more awareness for what this technology can achieve and more education. And I know that both of you gentlemen are definitely contributing to that. Christof Sontheimer from Eckart and Lars Scheidweiler from Sappi, thank you so much, gentlemen, for sharing all of your insights with us.
Pleasure.
It was a pleasure, thank you.
And thank you to our viewers for joining us today. We hope you enjoyed this episode of the Sappi Blue Couch series, and we hope you join us again next time.